Our guest today is Amy Hall Garner, an international choreographer in multiple genres. She's a Juilliard graduate, an educator, and has garnered numerous awards and accolades. We are thrilled to be speaking with her. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
As a choreographer, how does being female and Black impact your career opportunities and choices, making them more simple or perhaps making them more challenging?
As a choreographer, you want all the opportunities you can get, basically, to create and to make work, to make dances that move people, push the needle of artistry forward. And being a female creator, I think I bring a special energy to the studio, to the dancers. My movement speaks to different audiences, is different. And then when you layer on my Blackness, if you will, that brings just a deeper meaning to the movement and to the dancers and definitely to the audiences. I feel that my choices that I make are no different than any other choreographer. It's a lot of how people perceive my work, but going into a particular creative setting, I really don't think much about that. I think about just doing the best work I can. I know I carry my lineage with me. I carry my feminism with me. I carry all those things, and that's what makes me unique. And I think that's what ballet needs. That's what dance needs. And overall, that's what everybody kind of needs right now, is to hear different voices and to see different voices.
What have you learned over this time that sets you apart from other choreographers?
Over this time, I've learned how to choreograph over Zoom. I teach at New York University, so after spring break, we came back into this whole new Zoom medium because of the COVID, and then the work started to come, which I'm truly honored and blessed to have that ability to create during this moment, but I had to do it through Zoom. So some of the dancers, they're in their homes, they're in their bedrooms, living rooms, and then some of them were actually in a studio the first time back after that long intermission that we had. During this moment, I've had to be very clear about what I want to say as an artist, be very clear to the dancers, the intention, because we're not close together. They can't feel the energy. I can't feel their energy. And you're thinking not in the proscenium anymore. You're thinking more in the filmmaking world. And that's been really cool and interesting for me because it's changed my process completely. I usually come in the studio, I have, my own process of where I want to go with the piece, where I want to go with the work. But with Zoom or with this virtual place we're in right now, you actually have to know what's going to happen because you're thinking of it as a filmmaker, as an editor, so you could explain to your editor what you need. So it's completely changed my process in a way, or reversed my process, I would say. But it's been interesting, and I've learned a lot. I really have, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm also grateful to be back in the proscenium once we get back.
How do you bring out the best in the dancers that you're working with while you're working in a Zoom environment?
I look at all their gifts to see what stands out to me. I usually notice it within the first 2-3 minutes of working with somebody. You just see their tendencies of how they move. And I will say Zoom is very revealing for the dancers too. You just see it right away. It's very clear. You don't have all the outside things around you. But I just try to figure out how I could speak to them in a way that pulls that out, because you're reversing movement, they're looking at you, you say right, but it looks like the left. So you just have to figure out those ways of how the dancer works, and I just have to be very aware and cognizant and sensitive to that. And then I start just kind of figuring it out as I go, and it's very in the moment. But it has been a learning curve, I will say.
It sounds pretty much like that is the same process in a studio. Do you feel like that there's much difference? You're looking for the same things in a way?
I look for the same things, but with Zoom, it's a different feeling. I will say it feels very lonely working in this capacity because I'm by myself, and half of the time the dancers are muted because they're hearing the music off of my end until they start having musical cues on their end. So it just feels very lonely. I normally like to work with a lot of energy around me, talking back and forth. You feel very, very alone on this side of the screen. So yeah, that's something that's very different.
Is there anything that's happened that you were not expecting, perhaps?
Well, recently, I just work with Miami City Ballet and Paul Taylor Dance Company, and having that collaboration, that probably would have never happened. That was a special collaboration because that was the first time for both dancers to be back in the studio after that long break. And so to be able to be in two places in one time, in the matter of hours, I was in New York and then I was in Miami all in one day, each day. That was kind of cool.
So you did that whole process was through Zoom?
that whole entire process. I have never met John. I have never met Samantha, the two dancers. So that was really cool just to see how you could still create a work like that and my brain working to create them together, but we were apart. That was something that was very challenging, but also rewarding, and seeing how it comes together and working with the editor, the filmmaker, and having those conversations with Sasha. It was a very collaborative effort. And that's something that when I walk into the studio, a lot of times my collaboration happens only with the costume designer and the lighting designer. So this was actually the dancers and the editor and the filmmaker too. So that kind of brought all that together and more people together for me, which is beautiful. You can't do it all by yourself. So it's taken me a moment to surrender to that. And so I've started to surrender to that, especially in this new virtual atmosphere that we're in, or this virtual stage that we're on right now.
Since we're talking about your piece with Miami City Ballet, which was quite beautiful, I have to add, can you tell us a little bit about the piece and what you were doing and what you wanted to say with the piece?
The name of the piece is Viva, and the music is by Antonio Vivaldi, which I absolutely love Vivaldi's music. He makes me want to move. So that was the first thing. I found the music, and it's a duet. Samantha, she's a soloist with Miami City Ballet, and John, who is a company artist with Paul Taylor Dance Company. And like I said, they were in both their homes. And so we created a duet to signify that we were apart, but we were together. So we were together on the Marley, on the dance floor, and we're still moving, we're still creating, we're still dancing, even during that quiet moment that we had. And so that's the inspiration that I had going into the work. I wanted to celebrate the time that we had off. They came in the studio, and I don't know how they both did it. They both had on their mask, even though they were alone in the studio. They both looked like they never had a day off, which is amazing. So I just wanted to celebrate that discipline that it took, to stay in shape. There was a lot of dancers who were dancing in their kitchens at the bar doing their exercises. And I just wanted to celebrate that and to show, how committed they were to their craft and the athleticism that it takes to be a dancer. And so that was Viva. Yeah.
What is it that you hope for?
I hope for opportunity. Really. I hope for that there's more opportunities for women. There's more opportunities for choreographers of color. I hope that there's more openness in the arts. Right now, I feel like there's a huge change of the guard that's happening in the arts and how that is spreading out to every career, really.
What are you hoping is going to change? What's going to get better?
I hope there's more opportunity, but I also hope that there's more reverence and more thoughtfulness that goes into creating art. And I hope that now when audiences come back to the theater, that they appreciate what's being presented on stage, how much it took to get that on stage, the dancers, the choreographer, the costume, the lighting, playwrights, musicians, all that, a lot of us have not been able to do what we love to do. And I hope there's an appreciation for it and there's a new kind of respect for it. It's like the saying, you don't miss anything till it's gone. So it's been gone for over a year now, and things are slowly starting to get back. But when we can be comfortable sitting in a theater again, and I just hope there's an appreciation there, that thankfulness that we have the arts and what the arts does for us. And I hope that it has exposed how healing the arts are for everyone.
That was quite wonderful. I love that you used the word reverence and respect and thankfulness and graciousness. Appreciation is like such a big thing. Just appreciation, something that could be taken away from you.
Yeah, I think appreciation is important because if you don't appreciate it, then you don't value it. You have to value what we do. It's easy to, click on your TV, but to have something that you could just feel immediately. There's nothing like sitting in your seat in a theater. You just feel it. It's a difference. Even if you see a play, you can see the same play on television, but it's completely different. That human connection that's there, hearing the applause, having that energy for the dancers who are on the stage, feeling that energy. It's different than having a cameraman following you around a studio, around a stage. As an artist, I am more thankful to be able to do what I do, and I hope the audience feels the same way.
Amy, it's been delightful speaking with you, and I know that we're going to see so much more of you as time moves ahead. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. I appreciate this, and I hope so. I hope this moment has created an intermission. I've made so many new relationships in this time that I did not even think I would make. So I'm just grateful for that, and I hope it just keeps progressing, not for only for myself but for others as well.